Hello and welcome back to WWE 2K20 Universe and the final episode of Smackdown before we get to the Royal Rumble. And we are kicking things off yet again with Bobby Lashley's open challenge. Bobby Lashley has been issuing these challenges to prove that he is the man who's going to win the Royal Rumble. He has been a dominant man ever since his change in character, his change in attitude, becoming the Almighty. He has become a different man indeed. But on to the challenge today is the yes man himself, Daniel Bryan, the man who, let's be honest, hasn't necessarily the best time in Universe mode, picking up some big losses, which has really been getting to Bryan. He's kind of been getting a bit on edge in recent weeks and months. Starting to lose himself a little bit, it seems like, but you know, one big win and that could change everything for Daniel Bryan, and this could be it here tonight for Daniel Bryan. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel because you do not want to miss out on the Royal Rumble. It is a hell of a pay-per-view, I can tell you that much right now. You do not want to miss out. And also, leave a comment down below. Who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble matches? Who's going to win the men's? Who's going to win the women's? Let me know down below. But let's see if Daniel Bryan can get the big win here tonight. This would be a big, well, I was going to say turning point. It's not necessarily a turning point for him, but hopefully he'll be able to put Daniel Bryan back on the path he deserves to be on. He's a huge star. He deserves to be getting these big wins, but he's just been coming up short time and time again, and it's been getting to him. It's been getting to Daniel Bryan. We saw him refuse a handshake with Matt Riddle a few weeks ago. Daniel Bryan just slowly losing it. It's really getting to him that he just keeps losing these matches, and going against Bobby Lashley here tonight is very difficult for Daniel Bryan, but you never know, he could be the man who wins the Rumble. That could be it. He could get his huge redemption after all these losses and these embarrassing moments. He could get his huge redemption by winning the Royal Rumble, being the man to go all the way to the end. That could be it. That could be what Daniel Bryan does. But you got to think he would love to just be able to beat Bobby Lashley here tonight. Be the man to be able to put an end to this streak of dominance of Bobby Lashley in recent weeks, ever since changing to this new almighty persona. He's managed to put away Roman Reigns. Roman coming back. He issued an open challenge. And Bobby Lashley was the man who answered it. And well, Roman wanted to prove that he still had it after losing to Tommaso Ciampa in Hell in a Cell, and Bobby Lashley destroyed him. They had a brutal match, those two men. Absolutely brutal. But Bobby Lashley ends up getting in that hurt lock, the move that's been so dominant for him in recent weeks, putting away Roman Reigns, and then beating him again in a tag team match, but this time putting the hurt lock onto Keith Lee. And then we've seen every week recently he's been having open challenges, beating every single person who has come his way. But Daniel Bryan is definitely the biggest caliber star that has tried to face Bobby Lashley. But Bobby just taking it to Bryan on the outside right now. He has no disregard to doing damage to Daniel Bryan. Just look at how he was holding him up, holding him above his head and just throwing him down onto the mat on the outside. And wait a second, Lashley. We've seen this before, a spear through the barricade from Bobby Lashley. He has no qualms with doing damage. My goodness. This is probably a bit unnecessary from Bobby Lashley, but he is proving himself, proving why he is such a dominant man. And destroying Daniel Bryan, cutting him in half through the corner. My goodness. And now Lashley breaking the count. It was up to an 8 count. He could have got the count out victory there, but instead he wants to take it to Daniel Bryan. He wants to make Daniel Bryan tap out, but Daniel Bryan fighting back. He will not give up easily, will Daniel Bryan. This man will not give up. And you hear the crowd trying to get behind the yes man. Will it be enough? Can Daniel Bryan do this? But he's going to be in a bad way after going through the barricade like that. But he's got the opportunity right now. Lashley down on the outside, and Bryan back out to the outside, try and continue to take it to Lashley. Drop kick to the knee, taking down Lashley, cutting down those tree trunk legs of his. But Lashley being able to fight back, getting straight back up, and look at this. The strength of Lashley just holding Daniel Bryan up and trying to break the back of Daniel Bryan, essentially. Just pulling down, trying to separate the spine of Bryan. Is it going to be enough? Is he going to be able to hold on? It doesn't really matter. It's on the outside, so he can't. If he tapped, it wouldn't have mattered, but Daniel Bryan did not. Refusing to give up, even on the outside, even to relieve the pain. Daniel Bryan refused to stop, refused to give up. That is not what Daniel Bryan wants. That is not who he is as a person. But Bobby Lashley this time allowing Daniel Bryan to get back to his feet. Daniel Bryan just being able to get back up for the 7 count. Straight away though, caught with a huge clothesline, taking down the referee as well by accident. And wait a second, Daniel Bryan didn't realise the ref was down, getting in the yes lock, but the referee was down, and Daniel Bryan just relinquished the hold. And they're trying to pin, and you can see whether Bobby Lashley is just not kicking out because there's no ref or whatever reason. Daniel Bryan, he had the 3 count there and there was no ref. He had the submission in and no one was there to see it. No one was there to count it or call it. And it goes for it again, but this time Bobby Lashley with the short arm clothesline taking down Daniel Bryan. Bryan trying to fight back, but he needed to get that yes lock in. He needed the referee up. He had the opportunity to put away Bobby Lashley. But Lashley now fighting back, taking down Daniel Bryan. An elbow drop to the chest of Bryan. Bobby Lashley now back in his dominant ways. Daniel Bryan had his opportunity. Has he let it slip away? With Bryan fighting back again. Kicks to the leg. Bobby Lashley reversing. Daniel Bryan catching the leg, taking down Bobby Lashley with a dragon screw. And now getting him up, sitting him up, and Daniel Bryan trying to kick to the back, but Bobby Lashley getting out of the way, catching him from behind, slamming him down, back first into the mat. But Bryan kipping up, Bryan not giving up, refusing to give up. The heart of Daniel Bryan, you cannot deny the heart of Daniel Bryan. He will not stop, he will not give up at all. Bobby Lashley now throwing Bryan over the top, back into the ring. And Bryan down, and Bobby Lashley is calling him up to his feet, calling him up, and you know what he's calling him up for. Calling him up for that hurt lock. Can he get it locked in? Yes, he does. Daniel Bryan's going to be forced to tap out. Is he going to be the first man to be able to break the hurt lock? Can he do it? Can he do it, or is Daniel Bryan going to be forced to tap out right here? And he is. Another disappointing loss for Daniel Bryan. You know he is going to be gutted. Absolutely gutted that he couldn't do it. He came out here trying to put an end to this dominant streak of Bobby Lashley and put an end to this losing streak of Daniel Bryan's. But fortunately tonight was not Bryan's night. Bobby Lashley continuing his path of dominance and proving that he is definitely one of the front runners for the Royal Rumble, but maybe Daniel Bryan gets redemption. Maybe Daniel Bryan can win the Royal Rumble. Maybe that's going to be where his losing streak ends. Who knows? But he's going to go through this man again. And now we have a #1 contendership match for the Women's Tag Team Championships. It is going to be Mandy and Dana Brooke going up against the Riott Squad to determine who will be the #1 contenders for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Of course, the Women's Championships won't be defended at the Royal Rumble, as Dakota Kai, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, is in the triple threat match for the Smackdown Women's Championship. We saw what happened in the main event of the last episode of Smackdown. Dakota Kai losing to Sasha Banks on her way to that match. Very disappointing for Dakota Kai, and we saw the anger and upset as she pushed her tag team partner after the match, pushing her away. Those two arguing during the match. Dakota, whether on purpose, whether accidentally, drop kicked Nia Jax on the outside, and lots of issues between the women's tag team champions. Let's be honest, lots of issues indeed between those women. We're gonna have to see if they can put it behind them as they have to look toward their next challenges down the line. But let's see, will Dakota be a tag team and a women's champion after the Rumble? That's going to be fascinating to see with these two teams really going at it. Liv Morgan and Mandy Rose going at it very much at the beginning of this match, dropping the leg drop onto Mandy Rose, getting the tag into Riott. And Riott now putting Mandy Rose in the corner for the big Riott kick into the corner. The multiple kicks, catching her time and time again. as Mandy Rose just caught in the corner. Mandy needs to get in that tag to Dana Brooke. Riott trying to go up top for a big move on Mandy Rose, but instead changing her mind, realising that the smart decision was to get rid of Dana Brooke. And now getting up Mandy Rose. Is she going to be looking for that Riott kick? But Mandy Rose getting out of the way, trying to chop down the leg of Ruby Riott and catching her into the fairy tale ending. Is that going to be enough to put away Riott? Are Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke your new #1 contenders? No! Ruby Riott managing to kick out of that one. And now Liv Morgan catching Mandy Rose, catching her through into this submission, looking to make her tap out. Dana Brooke, though, managing to get over there, kicking to the face of Liv Morgan to break it up. And now catching Mandy Rose over the knee of Liv Morgan. 1, 2, 3, and the Riott Squad are your new #1 contenders for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And sometime after the Royal Rumble, they will be going up against the Women's Tag Team Champions, Nia Jax and Dakota Kai. They're always sure to be a hell of a match. But wait a second, Nia Jax in the backstage area, attacking the SmackDown Women's Champion, attacking Asuka. Of course, at the Royal Rumble, Asuka is defending against Nia Jax's tag team partner Dakota Kai and Sasha Banks. And Nia Jax looking to do some damage to Asuka before that. Perhaps looking to get back on the good side of Dakota Kai after what we saw last week, the issues between those two women. Maybe Nia Jax trying to wear down Asuka, but Asuka managing to get herself back on top against Nia Jax, taking her down right now. Being able to do damage to Nia Jax, but Nia reversing, catching the leg of Asuka. And what is she trying to do here? Wait a second, Nia Jax, we've seen this before. Looking to put Asuka through the table. Yes, tossing her over through the table. Brutal from Nia Jax, trying to weaken down the SmackDown Women's Champion before she goes up against her tag team partner, Dakota Kai. Nia Jax desperately doesn't want this team to end, doesn't want her friendship with Dakota Kai to be over. And to be fair, this is quite a good way to do it. Weaken down the SmackDown Women's Champion, try and get back on side with Dakota Kai. Trying to end this issues these two women are having. And wait a second. No, not on the solid wood. Not on the solid wood. Powerbomb onto the hardened table. Oh my goodness. Asuka going to be in a bad way come the Royal Rumble. But now we move forward to our tag team contest. Of course, these two men here, they won the inaugural Tag Team Eliminator Tournament and won themselves an opportunity at the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which of course will be happening at the Royal Rumble, where it will be The Miz and Rusev taking on Mustafa Ali and Ricochet for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And we saw a couple of weeks ago, Rusev took on Mustafa Ali one-on-one. Rusev got the big victory there, but tonight we're going to see the other side of that matchup. The Miz and Ricochet going one-on-one. Who is going to have the momentum going into the Royal Rumble? It's going to be a fascinating match between these men. Very different stylings. Very different. Well, actually, no, not very different. They've had a very similar coming together, to be honest with you. Two men who they needed something. Ricochet and Ali came together because they weren't having the success they wanted as singles competitors. And they became a tag team, and over the months they have become very close, and they've become a very strong tag team. And you look at Miz and Rusev, Miz was doing a film with Rusev. Rusev was his co-star. Miz didn't particularly think too highly of Rusev as his co-star, but it was enough. They went on together to go and advertise the film. You see Rusev still wearing the t-shirt from the film. Awesome, the movie. And well, they've kind of come together, and they've both been able to find success as a tag team, which they weren't finding as much as singles competitors. But the thing is, the difference is that time together. Miz and Rusev haven't been together anywhere near as long as Ricochet and Ali have, and besides, there's still the awkward tension between these two. As much as they get big wins, they are very dominant together. But Miz, his cheating and Rusev's cheating, it backfires. It backfires. They haven't lost, but it backfires a lot. Daniel Bryan almost got the victory over Rusev. Almost got the victory over The Miz, but didn't manage to do it. But it almost happened because of Rusev getting hit with the kendo stick from The Miz. The Miz getting hit by Rusev. It's all a bit of a convoluted mess at times with these guys. I don't know how they've managed to pick up all these big victories with the amount of, well, not working as a team. Let's just say that. They don't work as a team very well, these two guys. Not in the slightest, but can they manage to get past Ricochet and Ali? Two guys who have managed to become a true team here in Universe Mode. Two men, singles competitors who became a team and who've grown as friends and have grown to understand how they work in the ring, and they do such a good job together. Can they do that? I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be a fascinating match to see at the Royal Rumble between these two men. The undefeated tag team of Rusev and The Miz going against Ricochet and Ali, who have held those championships ever since Clash of Champions. They've held these tag championships for a long, long old time indeed. But Ricochet looking to put away The Miz here tonight, looking to prove that they can beat these guys in singles competition. Of course, Rusev beat Ali. Ricochet doesn't want to make this 2-0. He wants to make this 1-1. That's what he would love right now. He doesn't want to seem like he is a loser. That's not what he would like in the slightest. He would love to be able to prove himself against The Miz. With The Miz catching Ricochet there. Big punch to the face, and he's caught him into it. Never mind, I thought he was going to go for that skull-crushing finale, but instead pulling Ricochet up and dropping him down. Ricochet kicking back up, showing his athleticism. And big drop kick to The Miz, taking him down, and Miz forced to roll to the outside. Of course, we have the tag partners as well on the outside watching this match very closely. And wait a second, Ricochet, slingshot, dropping The Miz headfirst. And just look at the way Miz flipped over as he got dropped by that slingshot DDT by Ricochet. Oh my goodness, what a move. The athleticism of Ricochet is just unbelievable. But as I was saying, Rusev and Ali out here keeping a very close eye. Rusev making sure that Ali doesn't interfere. Ali making sure that Rusev doesn't interfere. Wanting this to be a fair one-on-one contest between these guys. Wanting to prove who is the better man. And Ricochet being thrown back into the ring at the 6 count by The Miz. Miz now trying to kick to the midsection. Getting the roll-up on Ricochet. Is that going to be enough? A roll-up 1. Only a 1 count though. Ricochet almost caught by the roll-up by The Miz. But Ricochet managing to kick out at this time. And The Miz getting Ricochet back up to his feet, punching him into the corner. And now going up to that second rope tornado DDT, taking down Ricochet. And Miz, he is calling him up for that ending, that skull-crushing ending. And he hits it. Boom, he goes down. Is that enough to put away Ricochet? The skull-crushing finale. 1, 2... No, Ricochet managing to kick out, just managing to get out of it, preventing it from being over. A huge kick out there from Ricochet. And Miz unhappy with the referee right there, getting right in the ref's face. Very unhappy. And we've seen this time and time again. The Miz looking to win this with dirty tactics. Now getting a chair that is completely illegal. Dropping it down now. He's going to be wanting to get rid of that referee. Wanting Rusev to distract the referee or distracting him himself. That's what The Miz does. He does not play fair, but Ricochet not allowing this to happen. Ricochet just taking down The Miz. Catched him with all these fast moves now, calling him up, looking for that Ricochet. That recoil knee. And he takes him down. Is that enough? 1, 2, 3. And the Ricochet picks up the huge win over The Miz, getting momentum heading into the Royal Rumble. Ricochet, a huge victory. Miz almost had it with the skull-crushing finale. And he got frustrated with the referee. Had to go to his old tactics, the old tactics of cheating, getting a weapon. But Ricochet, he took advantage of that. Took advantage of The Miz trying to cheat. And well, that was enough. Ricochet catching him, throwing Miz across the ring with the Hurricane Ranas. And then it all came down to the recoil knee. The recoil was enough to put him away. And Ricochet, huge victory tonight, picking up momentum before the Smackdown Tag Team Championship match at the Royal Rumble. Can they hold on to those tag team golds, or will the inaugural Tag Team Eliminator Tournament winners be able to pick up the Smackdown Tag Team Champions? Well, we're going to have to wait and see at the Royal Rumble, but it is going to be a hell of a match. You see Rusev upset on the outside, but for tonight, Ricochet and Ali stand tall.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elias.
Oh, and as you can see, we have a special performance here tonight.
Hello, I am Elias.
Elias has come out here to serenade us all, to go and declare himself for the Royal Rumble. Elias believes that he is going to be the man to eliminate everyone. He's going to throw everyone over the top, hit them with guitars, and he's going to be the man to do it.
As the man who holds the power of the wind in his fist, I've got one question for everybody here tonight. Who wants to walk with Elias?
You got to say the crowd behind him, but wait a second! Oh no, this is not good for Elias. Oh my goodness. Well, the Big Show seeming to have some issue with Elias, saying that he's going to be winning the Royal Rumble, and he has the crowd behind him. The Big Show coming out here to challenge Elias here tonight, and the Big Show is going to be in the Royal Rumble. Who is going to be able to eliminate the 7-foot giant Big Show? I have absolutely no idea who is going to be able to do that. And Big Show destroying Elias. Elias wasn't expecting a match here tonight. He just wanted to come out here and celebrate. And look at that, Big Show sending the message, throwing Elias over the top rope, showing that is what he's going to do at the Royal Rumble. He is going to throw Elias over the top rope. He's going to throw everyone over that top rope. And Big Show, the world's largest athlete. This is not what people wanted for the Royal Rumble. And trying to go for the WMD, but Elias ducking underneath. Elias staying alive somehow. And wait a second, the message sent back Elias. Elias has proved it. He proved he can eliminate the Big Show. Is Elias going to be the man to do it? Can Elias eliminate the Big Show and go on to win the Royal Rumble? Well, the WMD does spell the end for Elias's night here tonight, but I wouldn't be too down if I was Elias. He managed to eliminate the Big Show. If that was the Royal Rumble, the Big Show would have been eliminated right there. But it is going to be a daunting task for anyone coming up against the Big Show in the Royal Rumble. No one is going to want to come face to face with the world's largest athlete. It's going to be a very scary prospect indeed. We move on to our main event of the evening. It is going to be a 6-man tag team match over what's been going on these past few weeks. Of course, at TLC, we saw Braun Strowman become the new Universal Champion by slamming Tommaso Ciampa through the steel cage and walking out to put his feet on the ground first, because there was some controversy that Tommaso Ciampa believed his feet touched the floor first. But it was made official that Braun Strowman was your new Universal Champion, and since then, the Church of Rollins has been coming after Braun Strowman every single week. First it was Eric Young, and then Jackson Ryker attacking Braun Strowman in the backstage area. And then last week, Seth Rollins teaming up with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa to take down Braun Strowman. But Seth Rollins, he's got his eyes firmly set on that Universal Championship. He says he is going to win the Royal Rumble. He is going to become the first man to hold the Intercontinental Championship and the Universal Championship at the same time. But of course, at the Royal Rumble, Braun Strowman has a different challenge first. First, he has to go through Tommaso Ciampa for the second time in the rematch. Tommaso Ciampa versus Braun Strowman for that Universal Championship. But tonight, these three men have to deal with the entire Church of Rollins. Seth Rollins, Young and Ryker coming out here tonight. And Braun Strowman, well, he's going to have a challenging future ahead of him. He has a big target on his back. Everybody wants that Universal Championship. And you can't deny Seth Rollins could be the man to win that Royal Rumble. I would not be surprised to see it. He is already a 2-time Universal Champion, a 1-time Intercontinental Champion. He could do it. He is a huge star here on Smackdown, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him pick up the big victory in the Royal Rumble. But tonight, Seth Rollins would love to be able to put away Braun Strowman, pin the Universal Champion. But of course, you see Buddy Murphy and Matt Riddle teaming up with Braun Strowman here tonight. The Church of Rollins has had constant issues with Buddy Murphy and Matt Riddle. Of course, Murphy originally part of the Church, but then was kicked out of the Church by Seth Rollins. They had a lot of issues going back and forth. Of course, Buddy Murphy won the Intercontinental Championship, and then Seth Rollins won the Intercontinental Championship from Buddy Murphy. Matt Riddle has always been Buddy's friend through all of this. Matt Riddle faced Seth Rollins at TLC for the Intercontinental Championship, but unfortunately came up short in that occasion. But Eric Young now going up against Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle accidentally punching Buddy Murphy in the face there. Oh, awkward start to this match for these guys. Oh my goodness. But Matt Riddle and Buddy Murphy both putting themselves into that Royal Rumble. They will be a part of the Rumble, looking to potentially get an opportunity to face either the Universal or WWE Champion in the main event of WrestleMania. But Seth Rollins now getting the hot tag, going up against the man he faced at TLC, Matt Riddle. Riddle catching Rollins straight away with a big knee to the face. And now over he goes, catching Rollins, looking to make him tap out right now. Looking to make Rollins submit in the middle of the ring. But Rollins not allowing it to happen, managing to get out of it, and now getting himself back on top, taking down Matt Riddle, dropping him back first onto the mat. And now, wait a second. Oh, a standing moonsault there from Seth Rollins on to Matt Riddle. Very nice indeed. Trying to go for a drop kick to follow it up. But Matt Riddle moving out of the way, dropping Seth Rollins down onto the mat. Now the kick to the back. And you got to know Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano will be watching this very closely indeed. Of course, at Royal Rumble we will see the rematch between Ciampa and Strowman for the Universal Championship. And they're going to be keeping a very close eye and hoping that Seth and the Church of Rollins do some good damage to Braun Strowman. And of course, just before Braun Strowman gets in, Seth Rollins tagging out of the match, and Braun Strowman now coming in like a train on fire, taking down Jackson Riker. But Riker, the strength there to toss Braun Strowman over himself like that. And now catching Strowman again. Riker, of course, lost to Strowman last week. Got destroyed by Strowman, just like Eric Young did the week before. But things would be very different, you have to imagine, if Seth Rollins was in the ring with Braun Strowman. That would be a hell of a contest indeed between those two men. And Strowman right now is just destroying Riker, locking in that triangle chokehold, but Jackson Riker managing to get his hand to the ropes. And now Strowman yelling over at Seth Rollins, telling Seth Rollins to get into the ring right now. But Rollins has no interest in getting in the ring. No interest indeed. Of course, all he has to do is put his hand out, and I'm sure Riker would happily take that tag. But Rollins, he does not want to be in there with Strowman. He only wants to be in there with Strowman when it's, you know, he has control. And look, Eric Young is the man who tags in there. Eric Young is the man who saves Riker. It's not Rollins, it's Eric Young. They can't expect Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins doesn't want to get himself damaged before the Royal Rumble. I'm surprised he even accepted this match. Like, he doesn't want to go and tire himself out for going into the Royal Rumble. There's probably been a very specific reason why he sent Riker and Young after Strowman. Like, he doesn't want to tire himself out, risk any injuries. He wants to stand the best chance possible of winning the Men's Royal Rumble. And Eric Young, the big punch to the side of the face of Buddy Murphy. And now catching him and dropping him down with a huge pile driver to Murphy. Brutal there from Eric Young to Buddy Murphy. The former Intercontinental Champion being taken down by Eric Young. But now Buddy trying to fight back, but Eric Young catching him again. But Buddy moving out of the way, managing to avoid the big attack from Buddy Murphy, and now being dropped over the top rope. And Murphy, still having his issues with Seth Rollins, manages to knock Seth Rollins over the top. And wait a second, Murphy, shooting star press, but Rollins getting the knees up on the outside. Buddy Murphy, a wild man, he has still not forgiven Seth Rollins. He has still got issues with Seth Rollins very, very clearly indeed. Now tagging back into Matt Riddle. And Riddle back in the ring right now. But Eric Young, the legal man. Seth Rollins, not the legal man. He is back to his feet though. Matt Riddle catching Eric Young, taking him down. Eric Young needs that tag right now. Needs that tag to Seth Rollins ideally. Jackson Riker still quite weak after the attack from Braun Strowman. Rollins really the fresh man, but it depends if he really even wants to be in this match. Now the German suplex, 1, 2. Braun Strowman taking down Riker, but also accidentally taking down the referee. Just shows the size of Braun Strowman. He didn't mean to do that, but he's just such a massive man. Just a train comes flying at you. It's very hard to avoid a train coming flying at you. Let's be honest. Oh, trying to go for the running knee to the face of Eric Young, but Eric Young ducking underneath. Drop kick to the face of Matt Riddle. He looked over for the tag for a second, but perhaps saw something in Seth Rollins' eyes saying he didn't want the tag. Eric Young trying to pin Matt Riddle there and not being able to finish this off right now. And now Eric Young, is he going to go for the tag yet again? Not going for that tag. Not going for that tag at all. I don't think Seth wants to be in here. I think he wants to be kept as, well, as injury risk free as possible before going into the Royal Rumble. I can't blame him in the slightest. Oh, but Eric Young caught by the running knee this time. This time it hit. And now he gets the hot tag into Jackson Riker. Running straight into Braun Strowman once again though. Very bad place to be if your name is Jackson Riker and he's caught straight away. The reverse choke slam right in front of Seth Rollins. And he puts the hand down on the chest on Rollins. 1, 2. Rollins deciding not to break up the pinfall. And Braun Strowman gets the big victory here tonight over the Church of Rollins, over Jackson Riker, proving he is a dominant force. But Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, they never touched in that match. Those two men, that match is still very much up in the air as to who would win that one. Like, I'm sure we're going to see it at some point, but I have no idea who would win between Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. Braun Strowman celebrating his victory here tonight, and Seth Rollins, wait a second. What is Seth Rollins doing here? He's putting his hand out for Braun Strowman. Oh my goodness, Seth Rollins kicking Braun Strowman straight into the balls. Oh my goodness, Seth Rollins sending a message to the Universal Champion. Well, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget, next up will be the Royal Rumble. You do not want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.